What's up guys, Xenogard here. This is like my fourth time recording this video. I'm sorry, this is an update to my Trickster Bane character. We got to maps on day one pretty much. I streamed some of it, didn't stream the other half of it because I do some modding for people in the Twitch community. Kitten Cat Noodle, if you know her, I'm usually hang out in her chat. But I did record some of it, and by the time we got to level 24 and got Bane and Soulrend at 28, along with Despair and Malevolence, we just flew through the game and we got to Act 9 and 10, fastest I've gotten any character. We are currently sitting at level 81. Xeno Degenerate Senpai. This is how big our Bane is. I'm currently thinking about scaling a little bit more area, but we will see about that. I'm checking to make sure I'm actually recording this time. And as you can currently see, I am no longer hybrid. I was initially going to go full hybrid, and even though this character only has 4 deaths, one of those being to lag on an EU server during one of my trials from a guildmate, and the other was because my cat wanted to get out of my room, and when I went to let her out and I came back, I was dead. 2 of those have been actual in-game mechanics, and I started to feel a little squishy, even though with the 3k life and the 2k energy shield, it's a decent amount of, effective HP, but I felt like I was getting chain stunned even though I had the Brine King Pantheon. I had not gotten Escape Artist yet, so we did not have the Cannot Be Stunned while I have Ghost Shrouds. We did not have that yet. But yeah, I've decided to go Eldritch Battery, Mind Over Matter, for 2 reasons. It's a little bit more tankier. We're actually working down towards Phase Acrobatics right now. I would respec some points to get Phase Acrobatics immediately, but I'm out of refunds right now, and I don't have any regrets. I don't necessarily want to spend Chaos for regrets just to do that. I'd rather just level up a little bit more and see how this currently feels. As it is right now, I'm only on like tier 5 maps. I've been taking it a little bit slow since I am starting to feel like I am getting a little bit sick. So I've been taking it a little slow, and also I skipped over all of the Kvass content, basically the League content, until I got to maps. So I'm kind of exploring that now, doing a little bit of delving. But yeah, that's currently where we're sitting at with the skill tree, heading down towards Phase Acro. And we're going to do some reshuffling. I am trying to currently color / link a Cosprey's Will, but I'm starting to think that maybe this isn't the way to go. While I do get an additional curse from it, and we can apply curses to hexproof enemies, that quality of life, in my opinion, might not be worth the chest slot. And the reason being is, if we look at POB, which this time I will go over to monitor capture so you can see. If we look at POB, I'm thinking about actually going with a Cloak of Defiance this time, which will allow us to cut 8 points right here. And if we cut out these 8 points right here, we could potentially go and get Devotion for 6 points. We can then take this jewel socket here, which would allow us to have access to Spiritual Aid if we need more damage in the future. And we're currently pathing down here and then grabbing this Herbalism node down here because it's just a very nice little 5-point node. It's one of the easiest lives to get. Getting life from anywhere else from here costs many more points. That's 6 points for that, 6 points for that, when this only costs 5 for a little 20-point cluster, which is pretty good, if you guys can see that. Also, I switched to using this wand. I have a similar wand in-game, it's just not as powerful, but I completely forgot about the non-element chaos damage over time multiplier when I did my initial video, when you saw this scepter I had. And I don't know why I made a scepter, because elemental damage does nothing for us when spell damage does. However, this is the kind of weapon you want to be looking for. Very, very high spell damage, since that applies to all of our damage over time and our chaos damage from them. Very high cast speed, and then the multiplier for non-element chaos damage. This is the kind of thing you're looking for. We are currently running, for our single target, we are running Allelopathy Gloves with Cast While Channeling Soulrend in it. This keeps the mana cost very, very low. It is very good for single target damage. And then we have Efficacy and Essence Drain. Currently, we're dropping the Essence Drain for Energy Leech, which is also very good, but in the long run, because I haven't leveled this Essence Drain up, it's only currently level 9. When it gets higher, it ends up being actually more damage than just Soulrend alone, or at least equal to the damage, but then we also get the Regenerate Life as well as the Leech from Soulrend. So I think that it will be a very good single target setup, and the numbers in Path of Building kind of agree with that. If we look at our Blight setup, Soulrend does 1.8k Shaper DPS, Essence Drain does 1.4k Shaper DPS. That brings us up to 3.2k Shaper DPS. When if we went with just Soulrend and we went with, let's say, Controlled Destruction, that would bring Soulrend up to 2.6k Shaper DPS, which is not nearly as good as having the two together. We also have Bane. I'm currently playing around with what I think is best for Bane, but I do think Bane with 2 curses is probably your best bet for both duration and damage. However, Bane with we'll switch over to Bane. Bane with 2 curses and 3 damage is 3.69k Shaper DPS with this Path of Building, and the duration is at 8.4. If we go to, we'll keep Temp Chains at, actually, Despair is the best thing for this. I don't have a setup for doing a Blasphemy Temp Chains, which I might do. But if we take this off, we only get is 3.89k rather than 3.69k. So I think keeping 2 curses in it is pretty good. However, I am thinking about running a Heretic's Veil instead, and running Blasphemy Temp Chains and Enfeeble through the Heretic's Veil for even more defensive layers. Even though I don't play hardcore, I still like to be very defensive. I don't like to die that often. So I try to make myself tanky enough and deal enough damage to do everything in the game, like Shaper, Uber Elder, and all the high-tier maps, and all the leak content. And I like finding a balance between being very tanky and doing a lot of damage. So I'm thinking about potentially making that change, running only Despair in that, and running Attempt Chains and Enfeeble Blasphemy, and then I have access to, Sovereignty here, Influence, and Charisma for the reduced mana reservation, which would allow me to run all the auras on top of each other, plus with the reservation that comes from Heretic's Veil, and then costing even less. So that is something I'm thinking about, and as I said, I'm still thinking about leaning towards a Cloak of Defiance for a better Mind Over Matter. It would save me 8 points on the tree. Still possibly might run a Carcass Jack for the bigger AoE scaling. Not entirely sure. This is still a work in progress, but I will link the Path of Building below for this. My gear is currently pretty crap. This wand is pretty nice. My allopathies are nice, and the roomies is nice. Everything else is pretty much just what I got while I was leveling, and I have not replaced it yet. None of it is good at all. This can all be replaced. If you want to pause and look at that, feel free, but it's all junk. But yeah, like I said, don't know if I want to run the Cosprees. I'm leaning towards a Cloak of Defiance now. Save me the points in the tree over the hexproof. I can always roll over hexproof maps, so that's not that big of a deal to me, and coloring this is kind of a pain. But that's currently my update and where we're standing. I've recorded this so many times that I just want to stop and get it out there. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll keep you updated. We'll be making more videos on this when I get further into the Atlas and I get further into the character. But for now, my name has been Xenogard, and thank you guys for watching.